Oh. Hello, everyone. Here we go. No. Yes. There. My, whole ass, Stream Deck appears to have crashed. That's exciting. We are having a real one. Hello, my friends. It's going. Give me 1 sec to both get that sound off. Hi. The executive producer is making his feelings very known. Okay. That's the one I'd like to be on. Had to explode to give Pegasus time to get home from work. Yeah. Sir, the executive producer is yelling at me, so here he is. Let's see. That didn't fix it. I think my best bet is to do the time-honored tradition of unplugging and plugging it back in. Do you mind? Yeah, okay. Yep, we're good. Unplug it, plug it back in. Works 70% of the time, every time. I would love for you to sit down, sir. Yes, hi. I would love for you to just take a seat. Can we do this? The bomb says no. Hi. Yes, hello. Well, apologies for the strange start to the stream. It was a little scuffed as the Stream Deck crashed. OBS rearranged all of my microphone channel orders. And, well, okay, bud. Would you like some of these? These are from Annie Danny. Yes, hello. Oh, you can see him reaching up and grabbing at him. Yeah! His little hands. Here. Hi, it's not that hard. I know you can get up there. You get up there all the time. He feasts. An early treat for the boy. But yeah, last time we infected a bull. That's the main thing that I remember. Did we shoot the Shabnak last time, too? And we started to... oh, what was it? Here, let me see if I can relook at my brainweb here. Right, we found a fucked up grave last time. We need to see how the bull is infected with the sand pest. We found the children in Artemis' backroom education center. We found a girl in the train yard and gave her a dog mask. And now we are moving on to day 7, which I don't believe we had access to prior to this, or this might have been the day that everything ended. I do think that this is the day that everything ends, if I remember right. The Inquisitor is here today. That's the big thing that I think we need to manage. So let's see what's going on here? I'll take all that. I'll take all that. Hey, dude. Is today the day? Yeah, today is the day the town dies. Because of... Blue is infection, right? Yeah, contagion. So somehow there will be an outbreak that kills the entire town today. How? How, I wonder. Nothing to say? Okay. Oh! Well. Here he is. Yeah, it kind of makes sense that you would be hanging out with the bull. I have the first bull analysis. Ooh! What the fuck? Everything is infected. Holy hell.
I need sleep.
Count your buttons. What? Your buttons. There might be some missing from your coat. Children came by early this morning asking for something of yours. They had a preference for buttons. What for? That seems bad. Welcome in, Scoop. Yeah, it sure does. They're making dolls. You, Burak, and Clara. The children already stole something from Burak, and Clara gave them a couple of fishing hooks she wears. And now they've come for your buttons. To make eyes for your dog. Doll for your dog. Shabnak's done playing around. We are in the find out stage of the plague. Quarantine, let's have a back to normal party. The whole town dies. Why the three of us? Have they run out of townsfolk, so now they're making dolls of new arrivals? Are you surprised? Come on. We have 3 of everything here, remember? 3 ruling families, 3 parts of town, and 3 answers to the main question. Even the children know that. What question? If I say, what is the meaning of life? You'll just roll your eyes. So I'll put it differently. The main question is, what comes next? And will there be a next? Why are the 3 of us answering it? Because you were asked. By the children in their game, at the very least. I've noticed. Those 2 seem to be competing with me. You all want to win. That's what you have in common. While one little envoy begged me for your buttons, the other children were arguing about how to play properly. They decided the dolls should help each other at first and then argue at the end. A game's boring if there's a right and a wrong way to play it. I just wanted to tell you. I thought it was funny. I didn't give them the buttons, but they already have some anyway. From the very first day when they ransacked your luggage, soon enough they'll figure it out and take the doll's eyes from there. They should play as someone more interesting than me, Burak, and Clara. Simon, for instance. Or you. Children. Okay. Let's look at the artifact first. A blood sample from an infected bull, taken the day after infection. We must understand whether the infection survived. Externally, the bull hasn't changed, but the sand plague is beginning to multiply in its blood. Observation must continue. Yes, because there's anybody in this town more interesting than Clara, right? Like, get over yourself, Dankovsky, come on. How many shots do I have in my thing? 12? I'm here, I might as well refill it. Games aren't interesting when there's a right way to play it. Brother is still mad about losing Monopoly. Listen. I think it's valid.
Be quiet, you lot.
Oh. Hello. Wait, Susan. We're looking for Danil Dankovsky. We were told that he was staying in the Stillwater. What's the matter?
The Inquisitor has arrived in the town. You must be taken to him, his personal orders.
Why the hurry? Has something happened? What do you mean, do not pass go? I have to pass go to get to the prison.
Are you blind or what? Plagues in town, riots, anarchy. The Inquisitor comes specifically to sort out your mess. Come on, move it. We've got orders.
Oh, smelled the powder. Smelled the power, have you? Want to twist somebody's arms already? You've strangled kittens when you were little, haven't you? Cut off chicken feet.
Get a load of the audacity of this guy. Get him, Mark. He doesn't want to play nice.
Hands off. I said hands off me. Who do you think you are? Fuck you. His pocket is bulging. These are local men. A band to separate him from the crowd. A gun? A wound? Some sort of contraption? They're escorting me like a prisoner. What does the Inquisitor want with me? I'll be punished for not containing the plague. He's the emissary of the powers that be. He wants the Natica. Perhaps he's looking for Simon. They've stopped. Is something not right here? Have they lost their way? They're not who they claim to be. Are they sick? Are we being followed? Are they planning to do something with me? They showed no real proof of working for the Inquisitor. Random people? Bang! Bachelor Dankovsky, early in the morning in an empty street, has been shot by an unknown hand.
Wait, hold on. It seems you've gotten a bit carried away, esteemed bachelor. So you've been shot?
If it's anything like my Inquisitor in Dragon Age, who wants to bone quirky elf.
But here you are, sitting right before me.
Oh!
Is that why everything goes to shit? Is it because I've been shot?
The capital. Present day.
You know what a man who forsakes his vows is called? Oathbreaker. That includes the Hippocratic Oath.
It seems you've gotten a bit carried away, esteemed bachelor. According to your account, you were executed at the dawn of the 7th day? Am I speaking to a stand-in, then?
So you're listening after all. I was just about ready to move on to my flight to the constellation of the Crowned King.
I am listening, and listening carefully. So did the Inquisitor's men put you up against a wall, or not? This bit is crucial.
Look at how you perked up when the Inquisitor was mentioned. You're afraid of them.
I wouldn't be so flippant, dear bachelor. If the Inquisition is involved in this case, this may be your chance to prove that you are merely a pawn in someone's far more experienced hands. It's in your best interest to lay out this part in as much detail as possible.
I'm not a pawn.
Shit. Are you hoping to cover your tracks by running in circles like a hare?
I double-tapped the thing again. I hate that I can just do that.
We're locked in this room. You can't just hop away from here. I'll repeat, laying out this part is in your own best interest.
Thankfully, we're just kind of back in a circle. The Inquisitor's agents did come to me. They did threaten me. But by fate's will, I met another Inquisitor in the capital half a year ago. Who, ironically, we met at a chess tournament. Okay, I will admit that Thanatica looks cool as hell. Seraphima, my assistant. She came to Thanatica on her own when we weren't yet published. She was also the first person to forbid me from submitting an article, ordering me to revise it. Seraphima believes in Thanatica, not in the person of Bachelor Dankovsky. That's why she's so dear to me.
You asked for it, you got it, Chief. You have too much of a spine.
I think this is outrageous.
I agree with you totally.
Letting Inquisitors behind the pulpit? Using the Institute for propaganda instead of science? How could we end up here? How could we let this happen?
Do you really think I have the power to refuse the Inquisition's demands? To prevent Lilith from making her lecture? I'd say death is easier to defeat than the Inquisition.
I've heard this lecture Lilith gave. 5 minutes in and I knew all about her already. She hasn't come here to teach. She's come to recruit.
Recruit future medics to be Inquisitors? That's a curious practice. Have they run out of people of their own?
She's not looking for employees. She needs informers. People who are consumables for the Inquisition. They call themselves the law, but a bunch of common hangmen is all they are.
It seems you're on edge. Never seen you like that. Has something happened? Or is it just the lecture Lilith gave?
It has. My lectures and those of Platon were cancelled this week.
And you were going to tell me about that when? Why am I always left in the dark?
The dean didn't explain this cancellation. He said it was just schedule changes. Convenient that any changes always have to do with Thanatica alone, isn't it?
Is there anyone in the laboratory right now?
Platon, as usual. I suppose even if the lab is closed, Platon will linger at the place as a ghost for a couple more years.
Don't say that. Platon is a brilliant scientist. I believe he has a bright future before him.
Unless we're closed down.
No one will close us. I promise you that. We are still missing a decent chunk of people. Yeah, okay, so this pulls these back up. Scalpel. Vial. Scales. Beaker. Or flask, I suppose. You. I remember you. You were the lady I met in the in-between who said I shouldn't tell anything to the inspector. Platon. My assistant. Very intelligent, full of political insinuations and witticisms. Sometimes I'd stay up late with him over research and an uncorked bottle. He made so many ironic remarks about his unhappy personal life that eventually I realized it was a source of great agony for him.
This is our chance, I tell you. Carpe diem. If we want to save the lab, we have to seize the day.
A little birdie hops along the path of doom, yet sings its
Research.
song.
Yeah, I really smashed together research and uncorked into research. I'm doing my research. I'd like to ask the esteemed bachelor first. What do you think of this Lilith woman? I don't know her, so I don't think anything of her.
I've been to the lecture. Lilith spoke of the Inquisition's function, of the hierarchies, of how the law works. And you know what? I believe this is a sign. Thanatica needs protection right now like never before. And who would better protect us than the Inquisition and the law?
I'm not sure.
During the lecture, I had an impression that Lilith was addressing me personally, hinting that she could help. If we had to collaborate with the Inquisition, no one would touch us. That is the law.
This is a horrible idea. Everyone who's ever collaborated with the Inquisition have come to a bad end. Yes, indeed. I agree with the Bachelor.
If we swear our loyalty to Lilith, the other Inquisitors won't be able to get to us. They have an inner circle code. Bridge, welcome in. They have an inner code of conduct. They leave people from each other's teams alone.
Do you really believe that? I envy your naivete.
You should have come to the lecture. Lilith has illustrated the mechanisms of the law by examples. She's mentioned the Academy, too. The Academy answers to the Inquisition. That's the chain of command. If we can negotiate her patronage with Lilith, Thanatica will be left alone.
What do you think, Bachelor?
I don't like the idea. The risk is too great. Precita mater victorium, Dankowski. In our case, idleness means death.
The law has a nasty habit of punishing those who are easier to reach first. Swearing loyalty to an Inquisitor is like painting a target on one's back.
You know what? Danil Dankovsky, the man who founded this lab once, was the bravest man I've ever known. What's become of him now? Aren't you ready to do anything for your brainchild, your science?
I don't know.
Oh, I can use that. There's nothing to research, dude.
Match. Some women. Skulls. A bulletin board and a bunch of writing in Russian. Musculature. Skeleture. Pelvis. That's where we started. Okay. Big door. Oh, big bird. Amazing. First time I see a player who sacrifices pawns that easily. And she's outplayed me despite that, you see. What is wrong with that? Aren't pawns meant to be sacrificed? I bet that writing in Russian is either really silly or really poignant if you can read Russian. Probably. Or it's Russian lorem ipsum. I can see you're an amateur. Pawns are vital pieces strategically. Have you heard of the Huntington Proffer game? Perhaps read about it in the papers last year. Who won that game? The pawns did. Huntington could only win because he kept more of his pawns. That's a fact. Oh, it wasn't Monopoly he was mad about losing. It is definitely chess. Yeah. Aglaia Lilith gave a chess simultaneous exhibition today. 10 boards, timed, each of them. 3 of them she won during the debut. The others? I don't even want to speak of it. She sacrificed her pawns with such ease, I was sure I'd win. And I was mistaken. So Lilith won all 10 of those games? Not all of them. Mastanskaya managed to reduce the game to a draw. She didn't care about the pawns either. They kept flying off the board quicker than I could blink. Lilith seemed to be very impressed by that. I've heard Mastanskaya's got an offer already. They're recruiting her to the Inquisition. Mastanskaya, huh? It will be a great shame if she accepts. She has a brilliant mind. I'd agree if I were in her shoes. Making a career like that is a dream come true. Timere desideria tua. Nothing is more dangerous than a dream come true, especially if the Inquisition is involved. Today, you're close to an Inquisitor. Tomorrow, you face the wall for that very reason. I've heard it the other way around. Before, it used to be dangerous. Now, if you work with the Inquisition, no one will touch you. If an Inquisitor executes someone who works for another Inquisitor, they'll have problems, you know? They no longer do that. That's what I call pawn thinking. Believing in your superiors more than you believe in common sense. You got pawn brain, bitch.
I've been attending lectures for 4 years now, and I've never seen anything like this. Full house and not a sound, not even a rustle. Lilith has a gift for capturing attention.
Capturing attention is an entertainer's job. A lector should teach, not amuse.
Bachelor Dankovsky. I'm sorry, it was with all due respect that I said that. Have you listened? Have you been to Lilith's lecture? What do you think?
I repeat my question. What was the lecture about? What can you remember from it?
Lilith spoke of laws and ethics in medicine, of precedents and those paradoxes.
What kind of paradoxes did she use as an example? I remember you, student. You kept skipping your Latin classes. If you attended them, you'd know that hostium munera non munera.
Can anyone explain to me on what grounds the college allows the Inquisition's hangmen behind their pulpit? I've always thought that the Institute's goal was to teach students critical thinking. But look at them. It's almost as if they were worshipping this Lilith woman.
Oh, you like ethics in medicine? Name 3 ethical paradoxes. Yeah, that's what I thought. Fucking fake philosophy student. Don't even know your fucking Latin, probably, bitch boy. I know you. You're Veronica Croy, 3rd year. I thought your last name was familiar. Is Inquisitor Croy your relative, or is it just your namesake?
Damnation. I've renounced my family. I've enrolled in medical school, and still my father's name is ruining my life, even here.
I'm sorry.
I was trained to be an Inquisitor all my childhood. Just imagine not having any control, even over your own life. It was like being forced into a marriage. I wanted something different.
You've made it. You're in medical school, and doing great.
I feel like the shadow of my father is still pursuing me, even here. If only I could somehow explain to them that the Inquisition can't be trusted, and that swearing loyalty to them is certain death.
Usus est optimus magister. That's what the student years are for. Making mistakes and learning from them. Let them learn.
You're a cruel man, Bachelor. You would have made a great Inquisitor.
Why do I get the impression that you're trying to recruit me right now?
That's because of Lilith. Her presence. Where there's an Inquisitor, there's paranoia. Everyone is on pins and needles today, suspecting each other.
You have nothing to say.
If only I could live a year longer. A whole, endless year.
Daniel Dankovsky, very pleased to meet you. It's not just courtesy, I'm speaking from my heart. I've already had the honor of meeting you, but I doubt that you remember.
How did it happen?
I attended your lecture 3 years ago at Lamarca's. I even took your autograph, the girl in a long shirt. Do you remember? I asked you about the glassy lips, too. And you? Did you attend my presentation? I didn't see you in the hall.
Hi, Mona. Okay, but why is she hot, though? If hot, why Inquisitor? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think your presentation was for a student audience, and I'm a lecturer.
Either way, I am glad we met. I must admit, your lecture made a powerful impression on me. When I got an opportunity to speak at the Institute, I immediately thought of you and wanted to see you. See me to what end? Your research sparked an extraordinary interest. And I don't just mean my interest. Hot people cannot be evil. I mean, look at every Republican. Exactly. There are no hot Republicans. And I don't just mean my interest. You'd be surprised to learn how often I hear my colleagues say your name. As far back as 3 years ago, you already went further in your struggle against death than any man alive. Inquisitors know my name. Should I be worried? Only if you've been violating the law. My Academy colleagues are certain that I've been violating the laws of nature. Does this count? I should have guessed. Inquisitors knowing who you are is not good. The Academy is a bag of snakes. Those sage old men have been a fixture of this place for years. Barba non facit philosophum is lost on them now. However, the Inquisition has its tools with which to rein in the sage old men. Remember the Neustadt scandal? He was left alone in the end. He's become an Inquisitor's servant, and the Academy no longer has power over him. Oh, she does have the same kind of vibe as one of the Inquisitors. She's much whiter, but... Smash cut to... Stop! You violated the law! Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. I've heard of Neustadt. A Pyrrhic victory. 2 of his colleagues from the laboratory were later executed. That's a lie. Neustadt's colleagues met the fate they met for entirely different reasons. Your research is of the utmost importance, Stankovsky, and if the Academy disagrees, so much the worse for them. You need protection. You're going to protect me from the Academy, but who's to protect me against you? Well then, Bachelor, play this chess game as you see fit. But you'd be surprised how the situation changes as soon as a servant of the Inquisition speaks the name of their patron and adds Judica causam tuam, pawn to queen in one. How do you like that? The greatest lie of chess was to convince pawns that they could become queens. Well, yes, the heavy dark eyebrows and short hair, not the race. Yes, true. Day 7, in which the Bachelor will remember his close ones. Oh, no. Time has not yet come.
Superstitions aren't real.
Okay. Heavy dark eyebrows and short hair is definitely an indicator of inquisitorialness. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so am I gonna get shot again? Yeah, there they are. Wait a moment, citizen. We're looking for Danil Dankovsky. We were told he was staying in the Stillwater. Oh, I see. Kaminsky sent for me. I hope you don't intend on wasting the precious time of Glaya Lilich's servant. Come on, people. Judica causam tuam. What did you just say? That's Latin. Judica causam tuum. Judge your own, meaning judge your own cause. Superstitions aren't real, I say as I knock on wood every time my hockey team is playing well and I verbally acknowledge it. Meaning judge your own cause. If you work for the Inquisition, you should at least know its motto. You know Aglaia Lilich? What keen perception you have! How did you know? What should we do now? I didn't expect him to, be one of Lilich's guys. Me neither. Let's just take him to the cathedral. The boss can sort this one himself.
Saying quiet, working at any retail job. Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, because she'd, execute a shitload of people, too. Mom said it's my turn on the Xbox. A lot of folks here, huh? Hey. Mark Karminski, Inquisitor. The Inquisition is an organization of special intellectual emissaries whom the powers that be send to solve unsolvable problems. Each has their own way of going about it. Few know the Inquisitors by name, giving them sobriquets instead. Karminski's is the Hanging Judge. Yeah, the pop-in on that scene was a little rough.
Things fall apart. The center cannot hold.
Daniil Dankovsky, I was curious to meet you. I hope my men weren't too much trouble. I ordered them to be polite, but sometimes they're getting overzealous. Well, at least they didn't execute me on the spot. Your sense of humor doesn't fail you, even in the middle of an epidemic. I'm glad to see that, especially given the circumstances. I've recently heard some terrible news while leaving the capital. My condolences. What news are you talking about? Ah, of course. This place has no line to the capital, so you don't know. Hearings are being held as we speak concerning the shutdown of Thanatica. I can imagine how tough you're having it. They're taking the wrecking ball to your brainchild while you're here. I am here. I can see what's on your mind, and I'd advise against it. I've been made aware of someone in this town who's said to help people escape the quarantine. One Grigory Filin, I think. Some name that sounded like a verb. My men are already on the lookout for him. Sounds like you're baiting me. Brought up escaping, named the man to turn to. Perhaps I'm testing to see how sensible you are. Or perhaps it's the other way around. And I'm trying to keep you from making a horrible mistake. I know human nature. People are wont to do awfully stupid things, such as rushing over to the capital to attend a hearing, hoping against hope to save their science, even knowing that there is no chance anymore. I need you here. Looks like everyone needs me in this place. A shame it's not mutual. The town's been in quarantine for almost a week now. As you might know, people like myself are only sent in when the circumstances are extraordinary, when the local authorities can't handle the situation anymore. And I need your help.
Were you playing Pathologic 2 or am I wigging? I mean, I did play Pathologic 2. I finished Pathologic 2, and now we're on Pathologic 3. Must be nice to be an Inquisitor. You summon someone and he can't even say no to you.
You think it is nice? Let's test that, shall we? I will now appoint you an Inquisitor. What? Not for long. Just for an hour. The local authorities did something much less humane when they chose to hand you the power over the town for the whole duration of the epidemic. I've seen the reports. You've been doing well so far. You've seen everything, participated in everything. Who's better to judge the cases of other people in the case? Who better than you to judge the cases of other people in the case?
You can check the VODs. Just let me dig up. There is a link actually below in my profile on Twitch, Scoop. But I appreciate it. Oh boy, we've been given a field promotion.
Is that some kind of joke? No, I'm dead serious. The accused are already here. They must be heard out and indicted. I'll be your assistant, advising you on the details. And since their fates are hanging by a thread, let's not make them wait.
Wait. What will happen to the accused? Can they be acquitted? If they can't, what kind of punishment awaits them?
The accused will get what they deserve. Do you consider the Inquisition's trial to be unfair? No. The Inquisitor is in the same spaces of uncertainty as the accused. The difference is that he can control it. Are you ready to try your hand at this art?
I am. I don't like this horrible man.
The Inquisitor strikes while the iron is hot. First thing upon arrival, he wants me executed. How can I resist such pressure? Judica calls him to him. The Inquisitor shall not touch the Inquisitor's servant. This is the law.
I can't see it on mobile. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, the mobile interface is kind of bucky. It's just Archaic Prospect on YouTube all the same. I'm just the same guy everywhere.
The Inquisitor awaits me in the cathedral. It would be rude to ignore him because of my own execution. The Inquisitor judges in the cathedral, and today the Inquisitor is me. 4 cases before me.
Some laws are unbreakable. Those who break them will inevitably be punished for crimes against the logic of existence.
He opened by quoting the Yeats poem. Of course he's a jerk. Yeah.
One Artemi Burak, nicknamed the Ripper. The accused is charged with breaking into the abattoir and the termitary, both under quarantine, extracting organs from living people, and abducting children.
Without luck, you can't catch a fish in a flood. Without love, you can't divine truth from blood.
You forgot to mention that I killed my own father.
Who are you trying to impress with your sarcasm? The allegations of patricide are foolish and unfounded. The court understands that. But thank you for reminding me. Your father's death and the false accusations make for a compelling reason to grow bitter and seek revenge on your hometown. What say you, Inquisitor?
I don't find it plausible that he sought revenge on anyone, least of all an entire town.
Personally, I love the Second Coming, but so does every pretentious guy in my MFA. Yeah.
Thanks for not turning me into a bogeyman, Imshed. You'd be the only one. His motives might be up for debate, but his actions are tangible. So let's examine each charge separately. First, visiting the abattoir, possibly the termitary. A gross violation of the established quarantine. Does the accused plead guilty? I'd be dumb to deny it. I was at the abattoir, didn't really make it into the termitary. They kept me out, but I tried. How else was I supposed to study the plague?
Burak is right. It's useful for a physician to see the real roots of infection with their own eyes.
But is the accused a physician? An unfinished education, some rumors of surgical experience during the war. In a war zone, any biography can be fabricated. Who could verify it? Your verdict on the first charge, Inquisitor. Is he guilty or not?
Guilty.
You're doing your part splendidly, Inquisitor. Let's move on to the second charge. Organ harvesting from the living. In other words, aggravated murders committed with extreme cruelty.
I know what this is about. That step-girl was terminally ill and agreed to the experiment voluntarily. An experiment for which I take responsibility.
You are more interesting than you seem at first glance. The town has been terrified of a maniac, but it turns out there's a luminary from the capital behind his actions. Well then, the second charge is dismissed. The third matter on the agenda, according to the evidence collected by the Inquisition, the accused ingratiated himself with children and led them away to an unknown location. We have reason to be concerned about their lives and well-being. Those children can't be kidnapped. They are orphans and no one wants them, especially now, when everyone is busy saving their own skin. I care for them, just as my father did before me. Then present them to the court. The townspeople are worried that the children may have been used for organs as well. I refuse.
But why?
I swore an oath to protect them, and so far the Inquisition seems worse than most of the threats that they've faced before.
I have some input on this. I saw them with my own eyes yesterday. Half the town's children are putting themselves in greater danger than the orphans in Barak's care.
You're willing to use your own name to refute the rumors? How noble. The court accepts your argument. But remember that ordinary people are enraged by even a hint of crimes against children. The accused is acquitted of the third charge.
So what now?
Any of the charges brought forth are grounds for execution. Therefore, it will take place. The whole town will breathe a sigh of relief today. No one will have to fear being gutted by a maniac in a dark alley anymore.
Well, that was a three-ring circus, not a trial. You asked for my opinion, but it meant nothing.
I thought better of you. But it seems that you've failed to understand the essence of the Inquisition. We merely serve the law, and the law is relentless. It is not we who make the decisions, but the law acting through us.
Was this really the only possible outcome? Was there no way I could have acquitted him?
Acquittal is a fragile matter. To keep it from cracking and crumbling, it needs the firmest foundation of fact. But charges need no foundation at all.
Well, we're gonna need to go back to that one. I assumed that breaking into the the box wouldn't be fucking death. Well, we're gonna need to come back and redo this anyway. Can I use a clock in here? Okay. Nope. Awesome. Fucking unbelievable.
Getting in over one's head is just a form of drowning. Now, getting in over one's heart is worthy of attention.
The accused, Peter Stomaton, designer of the polyhedron, accused of assault on reality by way of impossible artifact creation, which puts the population at risk through its sheer impossibility.
What is an assault on reality? Is it defined by law?
I'd sing, but where's the choir?
Since this is a trial, I propose we narrow down who assaulted whom. Did I take a gulp of reality, or did it swallow me? I'd say it goes both ways. Look at him, Dankovsky. Couldn't even come sober to his own trial. I didn't know about the trial. They snatched me right out of bed this morning. At least they gave me time to dress, or I'd be standing before you in my small clothes. Enough talk. Let us return to the matter at hand. I give you the floor, Inquisitor. I believe Peter should present the blueprints for the polyhedron to the Inquisition. Then we'd be able to determine how dangerous the structure is. Huh. Funny. Your life is on the line, Stomatin. What exactly do you find funny? There are no blueprints. I burned them 4 days ago. Nothing but ashes by now. Where were they? Where were you keeping them, Peter? Who cares? They're not there anymore. So what do you expect us to do now? Can you at least explain in your own words how the polyhedron stays upright? How does it work? If you need that explained, there's no point in even trying to make you understand. You wanted to accuse me, so you did. You want me in prison? Prison it is. The noose? Even better. Can we get this over with? You're giving me a headache. I think you're lying. You haven't burned anything. A curious suggestion. Can I hear your reasoning? I have none. Just a gut feeling. Give me some time, and if the blueprints can prove him innocent, I'll find them and bring them to you. I don't think you quite understand what it means to be an Inquisitor, Dankovsky. Your job is to lay down sentences, not sniff out evidence. I doubt you'll pass up the opportunity to see the blueprints for a masterpiece like this one. I'll find them, and in exchange, you'll give Peter a chance.
Thieves, cowards, traitors, scum.
I see that we're going to need to redo, I think, all of these trials, so I don't feel as bad about accidentally condemning Artemy to death. You know, I should have probably realized that this asshole would just be nothing but death penalties, but it didn't occur to me for whatever reason.
Vlad Olgimsky and his son, Vlad Olgimsky, monopolist cattle magnates. The Inquisition has reason to suspect that epidemic has started in the so-called termitary, a dormitory for factory workers that they own.
Someone
This
must be punished for this sin.
Honestly, I'm not surprised that he's death penalties all the way down. This just means we get extra content. Yeah, I suppose. My theory was that violating quarantine, which Artemy literally admitted to in the trial, wouldn't be an instant death. But this isn't fair, I'm realizing very quickly.
This is ludicrous. That's why I closed the dormitory in the first place. I quarantined it, you see. I've saved the town, and now I'm to blame? According to our information, locking the dormitory has led to everyone inside dying en masse. What do you say, Inquisitor? The accused claims he did that to save the town. Does this look like salvation to you?
Seeing the kind of trial this is, I wouldn't show up sober easy either. Yeah, fucking, I could stand to get blitzed on Twirine right now. Technically, isolating the infected is indeed an important part of fighting an epidemic.
This is it. Tell him, Bachelor. Tell them all. It was the town we were caring about, the people. Didn't let doctors in because they'd go in and never come out. They'd be torn apart there. You've created an immense petri dish, which the plague used to grow in strength before bursting out into the town.
Roots and blood. That's the foundation beneath our feet.
It was my fault.
Silence, you fool! Don't listen to him. He's nervous, young, talking nonsense. It was no one's fault. Why not, though? Let's give the floor to everyone. If your son has something to tell us. Nothing to say here. Nothing. We did the right thing. I did the right thing when I locked the dormitory. Father! Silence, I said! Shut your mouth! You talk yourself into a noose! What do you think, Inquisitor? Not guilty. There was no solution in the first days. A mass isolation of the infected in the dormitory has given the town some time. Please, let my father go. He didn't do anything. Hush you. I'll talk with you yet. Out of your mind, you. We need to hear what the younger Olgimsky has to say. No. I forbid this. You chose our family to take the fall. I did what was necessary. I demand respect. What happens now? You, the both of you, definitely have something to do with the spread of the epidemic. But it's not over yet, which means that the Inquisition cannot properly assess the damage done, or the gain, as your father keeps insisting. I admit I expected you to make snap decisions. I'm glad to be mistaken. You're surprised? That means you haven't taken to your role well enough. Your verdict will be taken into account in the future. Right now, though, the Olgimskys are dismissed. And this is what you call a trial. Inquisition, my foot. Ludicrous. Father, Not here, I told you. Keep your mouth shut. I think this is an act of provocation. He's letting you go to see what you will do. The Olgimskys are charged with concealing the plague in the dormitory.
I've heard there's another Inquisitor on the loose in this town. Huh. Intriguing.
Alexander Saburov, the town's governor, accused of... Actually, the executive branch always bears the heaviest burden of guilt. Unpreparedness for the emergency, suboptimal decisions, etc. Saburov, the town mandated to you, is a mess.
Worst of all, a coward, as ever. How I hate it.
I request that the court take into account that our town is different from others, which means maintaining order in it requires a special approach.
Special? The court will take note of these words, Saburov. Inquisitor, what is your opinion on the performance of the executive powers?
The town was indeed unprepared for the plague. This raises questions in light of the first outbreak. 5 years was more than enough to open a hospital. You have only had the power for a week, Dankovsky. But in the time the emergency command exists, haven't you realized how strongly the town resists sensible measures? How it twists them and perverts their meaning? I've never wanted a Looney Tunes save to fall on a fictional man more in my life. Yeah, this dude's a real scumbag. I love him. He's very fun to play.
The Epidemic Emergency Command, yes. Tell me, Saburov, You do understand how this might look, right? You've found someone who could make all the inevitable mistakes instead of you. First, the incompetent Olgimsky Jr., then Dankovsky, who doesn't know the town. I'm pretty certain Vlad the Younger was installed in the emergency command by his father. Your point of view is clear, Inquisitor. Now, let's consider the additional circumstance. Do you know this young lady, Saburov?
I have a sister. Just don't tell anyone.
How are you, Father?
I can't believe you brought Clara here. What does she have to do with the trial?
This young lady is regularly spotted walking around the infected districts. Some of the townspeople believe she spreads the plague. Others say she heals without medicine, literally just by laying on hands. And the number of these people is constantly swelling. I have met Clara in suspicious circumstances myself. I've helped you, Dr. Mann. I've told you what to do with the one following you. Remember that, at least, because, you know, ingratitude can corrode like acid. Wait, what? Wait, what? Bridge, wait, what? So you admit that you know the Inquisitor. Perfect. Do you have anything to add, Inquisitor? She helped me in the hospital. I have no complaints about her. Thank you, Dr. Mann. I was doing this for you, too. For everyone. Adoptive father, I believe. And I think it's extremely recent. I think Clara, just showed up and kind of the Saburovs took her in. As far as I understand it. I don't know how long Clara's been here. Clara's origin still feels kind of like a mystery. But Saburov's, I don't believe her biological father. Let's take a closer look. The young lady visits the infected districts with unknown purposes. She lures the townsfolk into a cult of her name. These achievements are too impressive for her age. This raises the question, is there someone more experienced behind her? For example, the man who sheltered her. I think she got adopted on day 1 of the plague. I think you're right.
What? No. Of course not.
You're just making things up, Karminsky. Why the naive outrage, Saburov? Have you never heard that emergencies are useful for the executive branch? The temptation of emergency powers, which, with enough cunning, can be prolonged indefinitely? Here's the hypothesis. Both the cult and the spreading of disease by the young lady play right into your hands. You're the director and the puppeteer of her deeds.
No, I didn't know anything. In fact, I asked her to be more careful, to avoid coming close to the infected houses. Did you go there, Clara? What deeds? What directing? How can you direct what you don't know about?
Wait a minute. Either you are the adoptive father, which means you are responsible for your daughter and whatever she does, or the young lady is on her own. So what will it be? Are you responsible or not?
You can't put the question like this. I repeat, I knew nothing.
I object. The court has no need to hear cases of family law. It was necessary, Father. I never harmed anyone. I just helped. Do you believe me? An excellent question. So, do you agree that your daughter is entirely in the right and was acting with your approval?
I believe her, but please understand I could not control her.
This is a farce. The court hears you, Inquisitor. But right now, it's more important to hear Saburov. Are you ready to admit that Clara is your daughter and consequently her actions could have been prevented by you? No. Put this down on record. The governor has disowned his adopted daughter, thus clearing his name from the accusations, at least the ones concerning her. Dad. Didn't you hear it, Clara? The former governor is not your father. I think we should give the accused some privacy, Inquisitor. It's not every day that a father disowns his daughter. I'd cast the first stone at Clara, but this was just cruel.
What a real bitch ass.
Step 1, cut. Step 2, clean. Step 3, now we can talk.
Thank you for your cooperation with the Inquisition, Dankovsky. So, is this line of duty to your liking?
Well, damn, these people suck. I also wish a Looney Tunes safe falling on this fictional man. Hey, Karminski, fuck this guy. He wasn't in, too, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember him. There was the military man, but there wasn't a second Inquisitor. It was only Aglaya.
You're doing this on purpose, so the whole town knows about my cooperation with the Inquisition. You're making it sound like some grand revelation, but I wasn't hiding anything. Of course I'm doing this on purpose. But I've given you a chance to influence the fates of the accused. Wasn't it worth it? Don't answer that. Such arguments are boring. Rather tell me, are you doing any campaigning for the populace, raising their awareness? The provincial crowd doesn't know much about the latest discoveries in the field of hygiene, and it's not their fault.
At least there's someone you don't consider guilty. The common folk. I'm shaken to the core.
There's another thing. I've looked at the documentation of your emergency command. The town is short on medicine and we can't expect any new supplies during the quarantine. But the solution is obvious. Confiscate what the townspeople have stockpiled for a rainy day. You need to be bolder, Dankovsky. You hold the power.
You want to play switching roles some more? Decided to take my place now?
I've given you a hint. That's all. It's up to you whether you want to use it. It's just my job to stick my nose in other people's affairs. Though I admit your affairs are of less interest to me than what the Canes grace with their patronage. It's curious to be in a town that has so many assaults on reality in one place.
What do you mean by that, after all? What is an assault on reality?
I don't have time for lengthy discussions. Let's try to be brief. There are laws, and then there is the law. That which defines the shape of reality, the sum of facts it consists of, as well as the potential opportunities for its development. Are you still with me? More or less. By virtue of having free will, people sometimes make attempts to break the law. In most cases, futile. But on some rare occasions, they achieve a certain degree of success. At the seams, the tears in the history's fabric. That success is unstable. Reality is always trying to push that out of itself. You could say reality has an immune response.
You're contradicting yourself. If the law defines reality, then how can it be broken at all?
You're asking the right questions, Dankovsky. It's impossible to break the law. That's why its breaches are called impossible deeds. If they take material form, they're called impossible objects.
It would be easier if you could name some examples.
To avoid disclosing the secrets of the Inquisition that you are, after all, not part of, I'll just name the most well-known ones that you might have heard about. An example of an impossible deed is the free circus performance of the Double Star Man. Flight without any kind of contraptions involved.
His name was Drudd, and he was thrown in prison. Must have been by your agents.
Don't get all worked up. And the most famous impossible object has been discovered under a flight of stairs in a residential house, an infinitesimal point that contained the whole world. The foolish owner of the house wrote some poetic saga in extremely bad taste after looking into it. I don't read poetry, especially not contemporary poetry. Your bewilderment is understandable. Even in the Inquisition, not many are capable of working with impossible objects. The mind refuses to encompass them, although I personally consider them the most interesting kind of work. Is it bad to strive for the impossible? That's how breakthroughs are made, groundbreaking discoveries. You should understand that impossible objects are always a menace to reality, and reality is a menace to them. This contradiction demands a resolution. That's why they need to be studied and disarmed. I hope your curiosity has been sated, at least for today. I need to get back to my job. I have a job of my own, now that you've chosen not to execute me anyway. Okay, I am out of snoozes. We have to go to an ad. Now! See you in 3 minutes. Was that a reference to House of Leaves? It might have been a reference to House of Leaves. I definitely could see it being a reference to House of Leaves with, like, the concept of all the impossible objects and stuff like that. I am going to use this intermission to be right back myself. I will see you shortly, friends. Back, friends. We've still got about a minute left. The way House of Leaves is formatted is a form of poetry. Yeah. The house with the entirety of whatever in its basement and the unwritten poetry about it. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if it was a reference to House of Leaves. I feel like that definitely is something that could be a very strong inspiration and thing for this kind of game. It's very abstract in that same sense. Okay, welcome back. My friends. All right. Hygiene awareness campaign. That seems good. One good thing came from all of that. I'm gonna go reset and redo that trial, because I don't think Artemy being dead is good for my timeline.
Alright, our two threads right now are the patience and grief, apparently. What? Oh, he's fleeing the town again. Or thinking about fleeing the town again. Dankowski, fleeing the town never works. And it's not gonna work here. Okay, where are the trials? The Ripper. That's the one I want to redo. Because that's the only one I think I can actively affect right now. Oh, interesting. It takes me right here. That's fascinating.
Accused of the most terrible...
Get over it.
We're just going to speed through this real quick. Oh, shit. You were just accusing the Olgimskis of the quarantine being illegal, so this can't be a crime. Starting to get a taste for this, are you, Inquisitor? I get it. Juggling facts is so gratifying for the mind. But you do remember that the court has released the factory owners for the time being. Their actions must be evaluated post factum. So for now, that quarantine is considered legal, and the accused violated it. Not guilty. However, the accused doesn't even deny visiting the abattoir or even attempting to enter the termitary. Acquittal is impossible without compelling arguments. Wait! The abattoir? Barack went there at my request. He was looking for a patient for my research. I'm willing to take responsibility. Is that so? Curious. Delegating your dirty work, are you? However, the benefit of your research is evident. The court acknowledges the argument and dismisses the first charge. We take responsibility. Children can't be kidnapped. But why? I have input on this. So what now? The Inquisition acquits Artemi Barach of all charges, to the court's astonishment. He's free to go. But I want you to keep something in mind, Dankovsky. Those charges didn't appear out of thin air. The town sees Barach as a maniac. If he does something controversial again, everyone will remember who declared the offender not guilty last time. I prefer not to get so far ahead of myself. Today, Barach is guilty of nothing. Thank you, Oinan. I won't forget this. Oinan? That's a new one. It means wise one. The most respectful form of address. It's only used for those who truly understand how our world works. I should have started calling you that ever since you came to me the night after my father's funeral. I will, from now on. I'm so drained I can't even muster a witty Latin retort. For shame. Okay, that's much, much more like what I wanted to do. Artemi Barach is acquitted on all counts. I saved him. I don't think I would have been able to if I hadn't found the kids earlier.
Why would you want celestial spheres? I suggest a celestial tesseract.
Okay. We're free! We're free and Artemi isn't dead. Grand. We're gonna need to go back in time and find Stomaton's blueprint. Wait, where'd the plague go? The town uninfected itself. Huh. Okay. Well, it's a new day. You know what that means. Diagnosis time. It's time for medicine. But first, I gotta wave my gun wildly at people in front of the hospital. Hey, bitch. Back off. Where am I going? Oh god, I went past it. Fuck me. Oh boy. Going the wrong way in a fucking hell district sucks.
In every shard, a new me.
Oh, I forgot to pick up my shit! Well, here we are. Hi. Girl, what the fuck? Ruben! You fucking got a little bit out of your depression, I guess.
Funny joke, said the wolf to the trap. Now let go of my paw.
And this is what you call a hospital? When you told me there was work to be done at the theater, I imagined something more substantial.
What were you expecting? The town's sealed off. We're making do with what we have.
What are you working on? Do you have a plan?
I'm studying the patients who have intercurrent diseases, trying to find a vaccine. Barack Jr. is developing a cure.
Cubs here too. Symbolic that we're all in the theater. As if all the characters had come together for the final act. For the ultimate crescendo.
Now we just have to find out what kind of play we're in. A tragedy or a farce. She got dancing plague. Dancing queen.
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Calm down, little.
Good day, Doctor. What a day this has been, with the Inquisition's arrival and all. They barged in before dawn, frightened the patients, and rifled through all of our records. But I've tidied everything up.
All they know how to do is interfere with our work.
How are you holding up? They say you've already been summoned.
The hospital continues its work regardless. Tell me, who do we have today?
We have 3 patients today. Tute, the unfortunate Martin, and Amelia, who's been driving everyone mad.
What is that, a step name?
Yes, Tute means turtle dove in their tongue. The stepfolk brought her in, tried to explain something, but I couldn't make it out. I only know the language superficially. All I know is that Tute keeps dancing and won't stop.
The unfortunate Martin? What makes him more unfortunate than the others?
His wife died of the sunpest. He caught it too, but he's still alive for now. He grieves for his wife terribly.
It's painful to watch. How exactly has Amelia been tormenting our staff?
Well, tormenting. Half the orderlies hide in corners from her arrogance, and the other half practically serenade her. A difficult case. Not sure about the medical side, but otherwise difficult.
Thank you for the information. I'll go have a look myself.
Katarnada. I must Katarnada. Let the dress rip, let Mu Shuhan come out.
You don't look much like an herb bride.
I'll become Kiri Basagan if Podo wills it. If I drive Mu Shuhan out.
Mushu. No, I can't pronounce that. But I think I've heard it somewhere. Bad blood? What's wrong with your blood?
I came to the marshes. I saw slaughter. The boss was sad. He was exhausted.
They shouldn't have cut him down, all miserable and covered in flies. Spoiled sacrifice. Since I saw it, I share blame. Got Mu Shuhan.
You saw a bull slaughtered? What does that have to do with your blood? You think you've gotten some disease from the bull?
She oil gonna wish I saw boss killed the wrong way. Since I saw it, that means I helped. Now Mushahan runs within me. I need Qatar, then I become Kiri Basagan, then I drive Mushahan out with dancing.
Physical exercise does help with certain ailments, but I'm not sure this is your case.
Kiri Basagan never gets ill. I need to become Basagan. Qatar everywhere, barefoot on soil, on rocks, on wood. Then all Mushahan will come out. It won't eat my Urman, won't eat my Ukadel.
Let's suppose so. Still, try expressing yourself in a clearer manner.
Ask simpler, Erdem. You say big words, but they ring hollow, ding-dong, like a bell. Empty inside, just your tongue striking the walls.
Your capillaries... Right. These terms aren't helping. Have you noticed that the part of your eye that's usually white is darkening?
After the boss was slaughtered, I've been waiting for days, in fear. And so it came. Shuhan started darkening from the top. Now Mu Shuhan is in my head and it's moving down.
Darkened eye capillaries. Okay, she's either got ink syndrome or trireme syndrome. How can one tell superstitions apart from delirium? Pray tell me, do you use trireme? Do you drink it? Give better answers. Well, ask better questions, dumbass. I kind of love Tute.
You should not drink too much trireme. Aman burns after it. Clouds, thoughts. Keter me kerbu. Sometimes you can, sometimes not.
Pure nonsense. Bulls, dances. I feel as if I'm a medicine man, not a medic.
She bardam bainash. You hear and understand only yourself.
Perhaps I should look rather than listen. Ooh. I hope your test results will make more sense than your words. Okay. Oh, hang on. I want to double check. Tute. Ink syndrome is... Well, we should look her over too, but ink syndrome is brain, lungs, heart, eyes. Trireme syndrome is brain, lungs, heart, skin, gut, eyes. So let's take something from her lungs and see if she has that. Actually, let's do the basic examination first. Whoa. Is it the hospital lighting, or is her skin actually uneven? In some places yellow, and others paler. Marks on her stomach, cuts, scratches. Ooh, completely black, just like the vessels in her eyes. In sense, truly evil blood. Completely black. Yeah. So... black veins. Vein damage? Oh, well, that's both of them still. Yellowing of the skin. Okay. Stand still for a minute. I don't want to hurt you while I'm taking samples. Let's take one of her lungs. Vein damage. Yeah, it took me a sec to find it, but I got there eventually. Oh, shit. All right. Oh, wait. Oh. Oh, you son of a bitch. I think you got ink syndrome. Organ is affected. Her lungs are bad. Casebook. Twirine is not in the lungs. Ink is. You have ink syndrome. Have a good day.
So here I am. And what's the point? Could have just stayed home.
That bad, huh?
Treating me? What for? Nothing left of my life anyway. She's died from the plague, my wife has. 20 years together with Tsetseg. Smooth sailing it was. Been through everything with her. Poverty, famine. But this accursed blight didn't get through this. How do I live now?
My condolences. If I understand correctly, your health is not that great either, right?
How can it be great? Must be going right after her. Cannot, excuse me for saying, leave the loo these days. Can't keep the food down at all. Been drinking broths, concoctions too. No good. Okay, diarrhea, nausea, and vomiting.
How does that rule everything out?
What the hell?
I guess he didn't specifically say it was that. He was in the bathroom, but he said vomiting. Well, we'll put them both there because I might be able to scratch them off later. That's right. That's how it works. I'm getting back into the swing of it. Going right after your wife. What do you mean?
What can I say? It's been tough for me, all gray. It's like I've grown old overnight after Tsetseg passed on. Home's not like home now. Empty. Lonely. Broke up some of the dishes, too. Everything's slipping through my fingers. Huffing like an old engine, gasping for air.
Yeah, in the bathroom vomiting is my takeaway, not necessarily diarrhea. Yeah, that's probably right. I wonder if weakness, if he's dropping things, and difficulty breathing. You got a lot of shit wrong with you, dude. Though those could just be his depression, which are not related to that. That might be what I need to be ruling out. But let's figure this out first. Let's see what physical symptoms we have. Looks like he might have a sore or something on his... Oh, yeah, you're right. You're so right, Pegasus Batsputter. Good catch. Lip lesions. Good catch. Right here, yeah. First of all, please undress and stand behind the screen. I'll examine you. Chest looks normal. Back looks normal. Arms. Severe peeling. Chronic? Or just appeared now? He's peeling. Not a lot of physical symptoms coming from you, huh, bud?
Don't leave me hanging, Doctor. My meeting Setsek soon.
Don't be too eager to pass on to the other side just yet. There are still things to clarify. There's so much that it may or may not be. Yeah, this guy's got a lot going on. The problem is a lot of his symptoms can also be explained by just severe depression after his wife died.
Go on, then. Clarify, if you need them. Makes no difference to me either way. Nothing matters anymore.
You have some sort of scab on your lip. Have you had it long?
I think it's fresh, but I wasn't paying attention, really. Nothing's worse than my grief for Tsetseg. You could drive needles under my nails and I wouldn't notice.
Do you have trouble breathing?
A lot of trouble. It feels like I've aged half a century after Tsetseg's death. I take 3 steps and then I have to sit for a minute. She's calling me to her. My dear one. I guess it's time.
If you need anything, talk to the assistant. I'll leave for now. Okay. Burning fever. We would have known that from the rapid pulse, I think. I don't think it's burning fever. His pulse was normal. So let's rule those out. Hepatitis. Liver necrosis can be caused by viral infection. It can also develop in individuals who abuse alcohol or drugs. The pre-icteric phase of hepatitis is characterized by weight loss, nausea, and diarrhea. Sometimes skin is itching and eczema occur. The icteric phase is marked by jaundice, with previous symptoms gradually regressing. The patient complains of pain in the liver area. Poor hygiene and substance abuse significantly increase the risk of death. Fatal disease. Risk group: alcoholic, drug addicts, people with autoimmune disorders. Influenza. An acute respiratory disease caused by the influenza virus. Affects the respiratory tract, considered the most severe among acute respiratory viral infections. The disease manifests suddenly with muscle weakness, fever, cough, sore throat, severe headache, and photophobia. Upper respiratory tract involvement starts with cough, chest pain, and runny nose. Later, throat pain, shortness of breath, and hoarseness appear. Rare strains of influenza can have gastrointestinal symptoms. Mortality from influenza increases in crowded conditions or during epidemics. Seems like you're depressed from having a dead wife. Have you considered not having a dead wife? Pulmomucus syndrome. Oh, maybe it's loss of coordination, not weakness. If I switch that... If I switch weakness to loss of coordination... that... These... seem like the main one. Okay. His pulse is normal. That's what we're doing. Let's look at pulmomucus syndrome and serpent syndrome and see if either of those point us in a direction. An infectious disease caused by consuming water from contaminated steppe sources. The initial blow of the illness affects the human nervous system. In the next stage, it manifests through gastric disorders and ulcerative lesions on the lips. Subsequently, the patient loses appetite and experiences obsessive hallucinations. In advanced cases, breathing difficulties and deafness are observed, and at this stage, a fatal outcome is almost inevitable.
Risk groups, people interacting with the waters of the Gorkin. Steppe dwellers, washerwomen, water carriers. Okay. This could be pulmomucus syndrome. Brain, lungs. Okay, let's look at serpent syndrome. Nope. Serpent syndrome. An infectious disease resulting from skin infections caused by the fungus Hyacinthum petassum. The fungus is typical for in eastern and southern provinces. Cases of infection in the empire's north are unknown. Presumably, the fungus affects impoverished people weakened by malnutrition. However, native steppe people seem to possess a certain immunity to this fungus. Northerners moving to steppe provinces lack such immunity and are more frequently affected. The disease starts with localized skin lesions that can later cover a significant portion of the patient's skin. Untreated cases can lead to exhaustion, digestive system disorders, and damage to mucous membranes. All discharges from infected individuals are contagious, and patients require isolation and care with enhanced nutrition. I could see it being that one, too. If he caught a fungus from his wife or something. His wife was a steppe person with Sitzig. Okay. Brain, lungs, tongue, gut. Brain, lungs, tongue, gut, skin, eyes. Okay. Burning fever. All right, I'm going to take something from the skin. If there is nothing in the skin, I think it's pulmomucus syndrome. If there is something in the skin, I think it will be between serpent syndrome and burning fever. Though I don't think it's burning fever just because of the pulse thing. So it may be serpent syndrome. So I'm gonna check skin. I need to take samples from you. Give me your skin. Look for the red bacteria. Oop. Oop. There we go. Oh, no pathogens were detected. Red bacteria doesn't mean infection. That's just the mini game. I see. So skin good means pulmomucus? Skin good. Skin bad. Skin good. You've got pulmomucus. Bad news. All right, this woman who has apparently been making life hell for the...
Another sluggish orderly. Spare me. I require a doctor immediately. I am bored to death here.
I'm the doctor, Daniil Dankovsky, at your service.
Ah! You're the luminary from the capital. I'm looking forward to seeing you in action. A person with a decent education is a rare commodity in this town. I'm thrilled to meet an expert in an area adjacent to mine.
Adjacent area? Are you a colleague in medicine?
Heavens, no! If I were, I would have killed myself on the first day of the outbreak. Quite obviously, this provincial mudhole is doomed now. No, I'm not a medic. My domain is in a different natural science.
The cells did look different from the other times. Yeah, they were sort of like leaf-shaped as opposed to kind of that, like, E. coli bacteria shape.
I'm not a medic. My domain is in a different natural science. Botany.
It is a rare pleasure to find a patient who appreciates the scientific approach. I trust I can rely on your full cooperation to secure a diagnosis.
Yes. My symptoms. I'm going insane, Dr. Dankovsky. Surely you are aware that it is an occupational hazard for those of us engaged in intellectual labor. Physical ailments plague the common folk and steppe savages, but cognitive development brings a certain susceptibility to diseases of the mind.
This is a myth. Any human being can suffer from both physical and mental diseases. There's no such thing as a noble affection or a commoner's blight. In the face of disease, we are all equal.
I rather doubt that. Although I'm sure you'll be convinced by the evidence. I have visions. Waking dreams.
Mental health bad because smart. It's interesting because saying that makes me think you're not very smart, lady.
Although I'm sure you'll be convinced by the evidence. I have visions. Waking dreams. 1 minute I'm strolling down the street, and the next I'm lost. I don't recognize my surroundings. Trust me, an uneducated person wouldn't have any of those sorts of hallucinations.
I mean, there is a correlation, I think. Correlation, maybe. How much of that is educated people are more likely to be more affluent, thus more likely to actually get a mental health diagnosis, though? I think that has to be a major factor taken into account of that. People who are educated are much more likely to be in an economic position where they can afford a diagnosis of mental health. Hallucinations. I have just such a feeling that every word out of this woman's mouth is going to be a lie. Something about her demeanor is telling me that she is just going to be lying to me from top to bottom. Hallucinations? What kind? Visual, auditory, visceral?
Oh, all of them. I am transported to a different place, a different time. Even my body is different. It's old, disfigured by age. And this is not even the worst part. I see myself old and unaccomplished. Not a single discovery under my belt. No scientific breakthrough. No legacy.
Well, for one, I can relate to that. I have woken in a cold sweat from that nightmare myself.
Not even a weed bore my name. No lecture hall held my portrait. I was an old, dying mediocrity.
She is very aunt who gaslights you every time she shows up. Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting, too.
And it was so real, so terrifying, frighteningly convincing.
Hallucinations are a serious symptom.
Please, Dr. Denkovsky, prescribe me something to make it stop, even if it has severe side effects. I'll bear anything not to see this nightmare ever again.
Has she just recently discovered dreaming? Before prescribing anything, I have to examine you. The possibility of a physical ailment should never be ignored. Too thin? Or is it just me? Let's put dystrophy on here. How are your arms? Hands itching? Inflamed? Are they? I think she discovered that introspection thing rich people are scared of. There is a kind of redness, I feel like, to her skin. At least, like, at the fucking knees. Look at this. He's not commenting on it, though, so I don't know. Can I put it on there, though? Redness. Let's put geophagia too, because it would be really funny to accuse her of eating dirt. Ma'am, have you been eating rocks? You have to answer me. As a woman of science, have you been chewing on rocks?
So, Dr. Dankowski, will you be able to heal my mental ailment?
The scientific method which you're so fond of demands that I ask you some questions first.
By all means. Conducting research, verifying hypotheses. You know, it pains me sometimes that the objective of my scientific interest is mute. I would love to have a chance to interview a Monstera Deliciosa.
Have you been experiencing any unusual fatigue lately? You look exhausted.
I'm drained by the nightmare, Dr. Dankowski. That ghastly hallucination renders my entire existence meaningless. What if it comes true and I never really achieve anything?
I have a feeling that you are more interested in fame and acclaim than in the pursuit of science. In my experience, researchers like that rarely achieve anything of significance.
You say that only because you haven't done anything noteworthy yourself. You are simply jealous of my prospects.
You have scratch marks on your hands.
Of course I do. I'm constantly working with plants. Cutting sprouts, repotting them. Sap is bound to get on my hand. Skin gets irritated. Surely you work with toxic substances. You know how it is.
Yeah, that one actually tracks. I think we can pull skin redness off. And itchy skin. Tell me, have you lost weight recently? You're dangerously slender. I wouldn't say sickly gaunt, but...
Please! If I were concerned with looking unappealing without my clothes, I wouldn't divert my life to scientific exploration. Do you have an inkling of how stark the conditions of a field trip can be? Especially when venturing into the wild for the particularly rare specimens? It's no wonder I lost weight.
What? Yeah, I got nothing from her. Your case is more complex than I anticipated. The clinical picture remains incoherent.
Perhaps there's no clinical picture to speak of. My only complaint is that awful hallucination.
Hallucinations don't occur without reason. I will do my best to find it. That will require visiting the place that you live. Consider this a scientific field trip. Yeah, okay. She's the one I have to investigate the home of. Yep. Every time I look over and see her just fucking dancing her heart out, I'm like, hell yeah, girl, get it.
As if things are animated. It was quiet in Tanatica.
No, no, no. I didn't know that the fucking phonograph was gonna drive me goddamn insane. What the fuck? Okay. Alright, here's the deal. We're gonna get out of this area. Dr. Bismuth. We're gonna head over here. But I do not believe that we have time for a full investigation today. But I'm waiting to see where it says that it's a phonograph. That's what they do. I guess. If I get to her house, maybe it'll save there. Hey, hi, Pat. Hello, little boy. Forward and to the right. This house. This is the home. Story saved. Perfect. All right. We are continuing to really just pick at... You wouldn't phonograph. Don't download movies. I support piracy here vibes. I think you should know that by this point. Yeah. We are slowly but steadily making some really strong progress, I think. We are... Yeah, just, plugging away at it. The fucking trial was crazy. I dug that. That was a lot of fun.
Base game. As always, thank you all for coming. I very much appreciate it. As always, piracy is media preservation. Exactly, Bridge. You get it. Always pirate. Always archive. But yeah, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for hanging out and chatting and going on this psychotic journey. I will be here tomorrow, same time, same place, as we continue to dive in and find out what's wrong with this bitch. And yeah, I don't have anybody that I can kick you to at the moment, but I do want to say, again, thank you all for coming, and have a lovely rest of your evening. We're going to save the town. Just you wait and see. We're doing it. We're going to do it for real. Have a good night, everybody. Hey, if you stuck around to the end of the video, I just wanted to say thank you, and I hope that you enjoyed. If you want to help support me in making more of this, you can follow me on Twitch, where I stream these live. Like, comment, and subscribe. I suspect you all know how this works by now, but it really does help a lot. Thanks.